English 121, Exploring and Understanding Informative Writing, from the Allen and Bacon Guide, pages 168 to 190. Informative writing is among the most common writing you will encounter in your day-to-day life. In this type of writing, visual representations of information such as diagrams, photographs, maps, tables, and graphs can be as important as the prose itself. This is especially true for the kind of how-to writing that you'll be doing for the final assignment of the semester, where the visual diagrams can help explain the steps in the process you are trying to describe. You can classify types of informative writing according to the audience's motivation for reading. Sometimes, audiences will need to know the information you are presenting. Other times, they'll be merely curious and interested in the information. And sometimes they will neither need to know the information nor will they be curious, and you will have to prove to them why the information is relevant to them as an audience. When your readers are motivated by an immediate need for information, you're working with an audience that needs to know the information you have to present. In this case, you want to emphasize precision, accuracy, and clarity as you are describing the information. This type of writing, though, does not necessarily contain a contestable thesis. They already need the information, so you don't have to pose an argument to them as to why they would need it. And finally, because of that need to know, this type of informative writing will often follow a chronological or even an all-about data dump type of organizational structure. For audiences that are curious or motivated by their own curiosity about a subject, you again do not need to make any type of argument to impel them to absorb the information. Therefore, this type of writing also does not necessarily contain a contestable thesis, and once again, it will often follow a chronological or all-about data dump type of organizational structure. However, finally, for those readers who may not initially be motivated by a need-to-know occasion or by their own curiosity, you want to write informatively in a way that is thesis-based and aligned with other types of argumentative prose. You will bring them new or surprising information that you will present after you have hooked your readers with an effective opening to motivate their desire to learn this something new, surprising, or different. In this way, you will use the technique of surprising reversal when writing informatively for an audience that is not initially motivated by curiosity or their own need to know the information. In addition to the audience, in informative writing, the writer is assumed to have more expertise than the reader on the subject at hand. This expertise could come from field research, from library or online research, from the writer's pre-existing experience in the subject, or from the writer's own personal experiences. But the writer is informing the audience because they have more information than the audience does. However, in need-to-know informative prose, the obstacles to clarity for the audience are numerous. Your book refers to the phenomenon of COIC as information that is clear to the audience only if it is previously known. You want to avoid COIC if your audience doesn't have the background information for that to make sense. COIC can make your readers feel like inadequate outsiders. On the other hand, explaining something in a humorous way can welcome the reader into the family of the confused, where we're all in this together and it's okay if they don't have the background knowledge. In this way, you may want to use surprising reversal in informative writing, especially for informative reports of various kinds, which are among the most common genres that you'll read and write as a workplace professional. These type of informative and surprising articles are often found in magazines and academic context. They usually include a thesis aimed at a general audience and will arouse the reader's curiosity and then keep the reader reading by providing some interesting new information. The writer's first task is to hook the reader on a question and then provide a surprising reversal thesis that gives shape and purpose to the information, motivating them to read and gather the information that you are trying to provide as a writer. This type of surprising reversal structure occurs when the writer's thesis pushes against a counter thesis. Follow the structure. Many people believe, but I will show. So you're pushing up what you're going to say against what their previous beliefs would have been. This automatically creates a thesis with tension. Remember that surprise is a relative term based on the relationship between the writer and the intended audience. So the surprising view doesn't have to be diametrically opposed to the common view, but you will create surprise and tension by going a step beyond that common view to show the reader something new. In this way, you want to imagine an audience that is less informed about your topic than you are. Keep these considerations in mind as you work to construct informative texts for your audiences.